Namaste.
Namaste, namaste, namaste.
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 Namo namaha.
Namaste, Mahodaya.
Namaste, namaste. Okay, let's wait 1 more minute. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see me?
No.
Oh, same problem again. Okay.
Mahodaya, please don't bother about that. If you happen to do something, then the whole thing goes out. Just
No,
leave it as it is. Even if we don't see you, it does not matter.
I am bothering about it only before the class. I said I don't worry
No.
about it later unless I have to show certain pronunciation, how the position, because once we are off this phonetics first chapter, then you will not see me anyway.
So, quick question: are you using the web app, web-based one, or you have a app, Zoom app?
Zoom app.
Okay, it is a. You said it is a Surface, right?
Yeah, my laptop is a Surface.
Yeah, it shouldn't be any issue there. I don't know why.
I don't know. Say I checked the camera before the class, and the camera comes okay because right now I am not sharing my screen. And my camera, I could see my picture here, but you could not. So the video is on. My video icon is on just like the microphone. So you should be able to see, but I haven't started.
It is still blacked out.
Yeah, because my camera light is off.
Okay.
Let me see.
We see Swami Rajagopalan being pinned, I think, like the center screen.
Okay. Whoever, Mr. Rajagopalan, can you put your video off? Anybody who has the video on, can you put the video off? I think maybe he's the one who is speaking.
Yeah, I am speaking, but my video is on.
His video is not on.
Yeah, it is just
Yeah. Now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we can see your video.
Yeah.
Now my video is on. I can see in the camera, small camera screen. I can see myself, but obviously you cannot.
Yeah, probably next time maybe you can update that app, or
I don't know. Is there a camera setting? I don't think there is anything specific.
Yours working on and off. That's a sometimes it's picking up. Another thing is every session we can assign few co-hosts probably.
Yeah.
Drop out. Co-hosts are meant for session based.
We have a couple of people here, but they are experts. They were there in the last meeting, but this class and next class they'll be out of town.
No, but anyway, in case you can just assign few people as co-host.
Yeah.
So instead of it picking up randomly or some that way, even if
I have to do that soon because I am not an IT person, and
Yeah, it is probably if I can see your screen, your view may be different as a host. Yeah, probably we can research that one. Host,
Okay.
host or session based, not admins or.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start. Let me share my screen, and let me share the OneNote screen. Okay. So you see my screen. I think I need the camera working today. All right. Anyway, let's do the prarthanas. Om Agajanana Padmarkam Gajanana Maharnisham Anekadantam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahe Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Vakyakaram Vararuchim Bhashyakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Atha Maheshwara Sutrani Ayivun Rilak Evong I ouch Hayavarat Lan Nyamangananam Jhabany Ghadadash Jabagadadash Kapha Chatata Chatatav Kapai Shatasar Hal Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani. Okay, any questions from what we covered last class before we get into the presentation part?
I have one quick question. So when you write that bhakti, it is the ik, it goes on that the final piece. How do you do this? See, it is one of the ik is comes on that side. What is the rule to write that one? For example, Shakti, Bhakti.
Okay, there is no specific rule in the sense that the hraswa, the short ikara, the arch and the additional line is on the left.
Okay, so if it is a dirgha, how will that work?
It will be on the right.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, let me see whether I can type. So let me change the thing to from. Let me see whether I can type it. Okay. Okay, that is not helping me. Let me see. I try to put in a Devanagari font, which it is not helping. Takara. Yeah, it's not helping. Okay, let me put a simple one. Now, this is not the letters I wanted to write. Now, you see the T at the end?
Yeah.
So that is long. This is just the letter T. Let me see if this works. Okay, see this to the left is the hraswa.
Yeah.
Okay, suppose in the circle there we can put any consonant, ka, ki, ga, nga, and anything. So to the left is short or hraswa ki, and if it is dirgha, it will be to the right.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that this may be for some of you because in this class there are beginners as well as intermediate. For the intermediate who already know the lipi, the script, as well as some of these notations, especially conjunct consonants, please bear with us because we have people from different levels. So we got to take along everybody. Okay, but we can't, unless everybody is with us, we can't go ahead because then they can't catch up. Okay, so this is the thing. For in Hrasva E, the arch and the line will be on the left. For the Dirgha, it will be on the right, like a mirror image. Clear?
Yep.
Okay. Now continuing.
The one question I have, this is Ram.
Yeah.
Can you please explain again difference between Varna and Akshara, please?
Okay. Now here, let's look at the top line here. Okay. So here, I don't know why this thing. The first here we have a letter here, Ka. See that?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Ram, because you are the one speaking, you keep your microphone unmuted now and everybody else can mute and can hear. And if you have a question,
Yes.
you can raise it. So you keep unmuted till your question is answered.
Sure.
So it is highlighting the wrong things. Don't go with the highlighting. I don't know why my cursor is not being active there. So what I'm highlighting here is, I am talking about the first letter Ka, where my cursor is. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now this Ka is an Akshara. The reason is because the whole thing you have written there can be pronounced Ka.
Okay.
Now this Ka is made up of two varnas, Kakara and Akara. So the K is a varna and A is a varna. The K, strictly speaking, you should not be able to pronounce because even the K, I am dragging the U part so that you can hear that sound. Okay, otherwise this K, which is a pure halanta, is unpronounceable unless accompanied by a vowel. So both this K sound and the Akara are varnas. Now Akara, because it is independently pronounceable, it is both Akshara as well as a varna. Is that clear?
Yes. Yes.
All the vowels are varnas as well as aksharas because they are independent and they can be pronounced without anybody's help.
Why is it called Varna then?
Varna means it is a variation of sound, just like a color.
Okay.
Okay. Now, see, in the case of when we write all this a, I, I, ka, ka, ga, ga, nga, all those, when you come to the vyanjanas, we have been by-hearting it and we have been writing it as ka, ka, because without adding a to the ka is not pronounceable. So even in Paninian grammar, the Panini, when he gives the Maheshwara Sutras, then the starting all the letters ha, ya, wa, ra, and all the way up to sha, sa, sa, ha.
Yes.
After the list is done, okay, Panini says hakaradau, means in the what you read just now, starting from ha onwards, the akaraha ucharanarthe. Okay, so the actual what he means is just the h, y, v, r, t, l, ny, all those things. But independently, if you put them together or chant them together, they will be unchantable. So he makes it as, we have been learning it that way also. Ka, ka, ga, ga, nga. So at the end of each of those varnas are added for pronunciation's sake. So
yes.
the is a varna Ch is a varna, T is a varna. But if you make it a akshara, like ta or ti or tu or te, all those things are aksharas because they are combined with the vowel to make it pronounceable. So easier way to understand if you are new to the alphabets is consider akshara as a syllable, pronounceable, whereas the varna as a letter. Okay. And we explained that in the last class, even in the English alphabets, you don't say B as just B, you always say B. You don't say P, you always say F. So that F is added, it's not part of the alphabet. It's not, the F doesn't have the E sound at all. But still, when you're saying alphabet, you say F, because just to make it pronounceable.
So aksharas are a superset and varna is subset of akshara.
Okay, if you wanted to go to the Venn diagram way, I don't know whether everybody understands. Aksharas are supersets, varnas are subsets, and the vowels will come in between because they are both.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay. And if you have any questions, we have to clarify this. And then if you have any questions, you can either call me if you are in the same time zone. You can call me, or you can call me on WhatsApp or send me a message. And based on the question, I will let you know whether we have to call or talk if it's the pronunciation related. I have done that with another person. Okay, then we talked for a while, so I could specifically say because it is about pronunciation. Okay, before going further, another thing I wanted to mention is this is not for the people in the class, but this is being recorded. So this is mainly for those people who have joined the class late, they were not in the class right from the first class. For those people, and even among them, especially the ones who cannot join live because of the time zone difference. Okay. My suggestion is from class number 1 to class number 9, we were not into the textbook. Okay. At that time, I was doing a presentation that I prepared. So just to see some highlights of the language and the importance of learning Saṁskṛta. And a lot of times I mentioned, we are going to cover this, we are going to cover this in the text each time. So for the people who have joined the class later, I would suggest you start listening from the class number 10. Now the class number 10 is when we started into the textbook. Okay. So 1 to 9, I call it as introductory slides. Those slides you can listen to later. But do not go from 1 to up to 9 and then 10, because we are already into 4th class into the textbook. Okay, so my suggestion is start with class 9, class 10, 11 to continuously, because we are following the text. And classes 1 to 9, you can listen to it afterwards also. Okay. And even once we start in the textbook, because that has to be continuity, because what follows depends on what we covered in the previous class. That is how grammar is. This is just like mathematics, I have told you. Unless you are sure and follow completely about the addition process, you cannot go into multiplication. Unless you are very sure about the addition and multiplication, you cannot go to integration. So there's no point in skipping the things just to complete at any time. So if you are joining late, start with class 10 onwards. And also I suggest if you are listening from the recordings, do listen to the recordings the same day as the class, but definitely before the next class starts. Otherwise, you won't follow what is discussed in that class because you haven't watched what happened in the previous class. Okay, so this is mainly for those who are not attending live and joined late. Give me a second. Maybe I'm talking too loud. Okay, so let's continue from where we left. We talked about Vyanjanam, like Vyanjana. So Vyanjanam. So it has 3 syllables and a varna at the end. Okay, so 3 syllables, Vyanjana, Vakara, Yakara, followed by A at the end. So it's a conjunct consonant Va and Ya. So Vya, V, Y, Vya plus A, Vya. And then Nya, Ja, and A. Make it Nja. So Vyanja. N, A, Na, and Ma by itself. So Vyanjanam. Now you might say this Ma is standalone. No, because it is preceded by A of the Na. It becomes pronounceable. The Vijnanam, you can see that the position of Ja and Nya are reversed, because a lot of times people new to the alphabet have some confusion about Nya followed by Ja and the reverse order. In Vijnanam, you can see that Ja comes first, followed by Nya. So that is how Vijnanam is. And here there's one word Samnya written in 2 ways. Both the ways are right. And the pronunciation depends on how you write. So here it is, Sa has an anuswara. So you pronounce it as Samnya. This is when I needed the camera. We'll get back to that later one time, just for this pronunciation part.
A question?
Yeah.
This is Ram. Now, the underline that you have, that indicates a swara?
Okay, what is your understanding of swara? Okay, no. This is not understanding. This underline is not for the udatta anudatta swara, if that is what your question is.
No. I was saying, when I say akshara, I mean syllable. In English, syllable is a sound complete with itself.
Yes, that's what it meant here also. Akshara is some sound that can be pronounced by itself.
So in Vijnanam, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 syllables, correct?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, what I underlined here is, yeah, you are on the right track. The Va and E I underlined together. Right?
Okay.
That means Vakara is a Varna, Ikara is a Varna, but Va and E together make 1 syllable or 1 Akshara.
Okay.
Okay, that is why I underlined them together and left a gap after that, because it is a different syllable now.
Jagdishji, one question.
Yeah.
So which jnanam is, we have to pronounce the j and the gna, right? Jnanam.
Yeah.
So jnanam, just jnanam.
Yeah.
So is that also ja agnya?
Precisely, because it is jnanam. Okay, so Vijnanam, if you take the V out, then it is like saying without these 2. So the Ja sound should be elucidated before the Nya comes. So I know the question you are asking, because a lot of people, I don't know whether it is because of the mother tongue effect. Even if it is written as Jnanam, even when it is transliterated with the J coming first in the word, in spite of that, people have a tendency to start with the Nya straight away. Because ja is there, it has to be pronounced. So it has to be pronounced jnanam. Ja, nya together. Jnanam, one after the other.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
And this symbol, that is why I highlighted here, this notation, okay, this thing here. Everybody can see this, or should I make it bigger?
We can see it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Jagdish.
Okay. Now this new, just the word, the compound consonant nya. Okay, I took the akara out. So this nya is a combination of ja immediately followed by nya. So ja, nya follows, nya follows immediately. So j, nya, nya. So it may be better if I write a, it may not come out all right. So when you say vijnanam or jnanam, the J sound should be there. And some people accuse me of being too much of a stickler for pronunciation, but in Sanskrita, pronunciation is very, very important. And I had this basic class in our 5-week camp in the ashram, and after the class, some people had the questions. So we go out in the cafeteria area and sit across each other, across on the coffee table, so that I can specifically show what the tongue position should be, pronouncing which letter. Unfortunately, in a class like this, it is not possible to do that, but we have to manage somehow. Looks like Nagi has a question.
Yeah, Jagdish. So in Sangna, so that na, is it part of the Vyanjanani table? No, right? It's a derived letter.
Okay. Now, there is nothing called a derived letter. You're talking about the first samnya or second word? Which one?
First one,
First
Sangna,
one.
the
Okay.
left side one, the letter.
Okay,
Nya.
now here is sanya. Now, this sam is like a sa with the anuswara. And the second akshara here is jna. So you can pronounce that as samnya because anuswara is there. That is one way of pronouncing. Same thing can be pronounced in a little different way. That is why I put the second one. Now to answer your question, this sum, let's leave it apart because that is one akshara. Your question, I think, is referring to this second part, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So ja is a varna, or it is a letter like J. Nya is a letter, okay, or varna or letter. In English, it will be like a N with the tilde on top. That is a nya. Okay. So they are together make one consonant. So they are called conjunct consonant. When a consonant follows another consonant without a vowel coming in between, it is like compound or the conjunct consonant. In Sanskrita, they say sanyukta akshara, okay, combined. So ja and nya together will become jna, like this notation, jna. And this is a the conjunct consonant. Okay, two consonants coming right after the other. It is not, they are not called derived varnas. They are called, either individual or conjunct. Now here we have only two, but there are cases where we can have 3, 4, 5 conjunct consonants together, like becomes a tongue twister. Okay, did I answer Nagi's question?
Yeah, Jagdish. So it's not part of the chart, table chart.
No,
Right,
it
that's
won't be a
it.
part of the chart because chart is individual varnas only.
Okay.
Okay. I kind of have an idea why you are asking the question, because when we are by hearting, we didn't have that problem when we were in like a kindergarten or the primary school. But later on, I saw some charts of aksharamala. There they say, kaka gaga, then yara la va sha sa sa ha la, and then they put 3 more aksharas there. ksha, tra, and jna. And that may be the confusion for some people saying that, oh, okay, this also may be akshara in the one of the aksharas. They are not. They are not just compound consonants. Then they give the example of 3 of those. Okay, we'll talk about that right now. Okay.
Yeah, got it. Thank you, Jagdish.
Okay.
Jagdish, one more question. Sorry.
Yeah.
You mentioned, during the Brahma Sutra class, you actually had during lunchtime people. Are you planning to have a live session where people can meet and practice these?
Where during this course?
Yeah.
No, because there are people from all over the country. I don't know what do you mean, because there's no way we can meet. And there are people from India also and a couple of other countries.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be done because in our 5-week camp, because camp attendees were all in Arshavidya ashram. So they attended these classes. This is in between the Brahma Sutra classes. So at that time, we had that privilege of doing face-to-face.
One more question. This is a little bit more sort of. So when we learned Vedam, they actually said Vedas, may not stick to grammar. Therefore, you use Vedas the way it is, rather than correcting it for, grammar errors.
Okay. We are going ahead of ourselves, but now that you raised the question, I will answer. Now, I haven't studied Vedas, and Vedas follow grammar, but Vedas have a lot of exceptions to Paninian grammar. Because Paninian grammar is not prescribed, it is postscribed, so to say. The grammar came up, or Panini compiled, Panini and even before him, other grammarians, they compiled the grammar and the books on grammar after. Vedas were there all the time. And all the grammarians' rules could not explain all the things written in Vedas. Now understand that because the grammar texts or all the grammar granthas were written later, they were kind of, what they're doing is they're doing some kind of a curve fitting kind of thing. The points are already there. You're trying to put some common features and write a rule or a sutra for that. So in Vedas and also in some other, not only in the Vedas, even in Mahabharata, Ramayana, some of the historic and ancient texts, there are several things which cannot be explained by Paninian rules, okay, grammar rules. They are beyond the grammar rules. So Panini accepts that, and several places he says specifically Chandasam. Chandasam is an exception for Vedas. Vedas do not follow this. And generally, anything like that, if there's a customary practice and there's an ancient text which does not follow all these current rules, then those things they call as Arsha Prayoga. You take them as they are because they have been there before you, before the grammar texts were written, before the grammarians were born. So the respect the rishis. So the Arsha comes from the rishi. So those are Arsha Prayoga. The usage put forward by the ancient rishis, take them as they are. Never make a comment that it's grammatically wrong, because grammar is something people later on started. Grammar was there, but the grammar rules and the textbooks came much after the Vedas.
So it is grandfathered.
That's the word crossed my mind, but I forgot. Grandfather, right? So you don't make any amendments to that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So this is Jna, compound consonant is one where a lot of people have questions when in the classes like that. The second question I generally have, this is my experience from the 5-week course, is how they write tra. Okay, so this is the reason why they added, people added ksha, tra, and jna at the end of all the alphabets, just to give you an idea that some of the compound consonant like ksha, tra, and jna and some others, they just give 3. They had the notation they use, or the lipi or the script or the letter notation in Devanagari they use may not directly tell you what is the first consonant and what is the second consonant. Okay, that is what I'm going to highlight in the next couple of examples.
This is Ram. I have a question before you go ahead. The sanya, the second sanya.
Yeah.
How do we pronounce that? The nya, the previous sanya, it's obvious.
Yeah.
But this one is a lot more. It's completely different because.
Okay, let me see. The first one is pronounced as samnya. After sa, my lips touch each other because the anuswara there is pronounced as mak, almost like a makara. Okay.
Oh.
So samnya, and sometimes people soften it a little bit, like saying samnya, sanya. Whereas the second one, the nya, ja, and the nya are made into one consonant. Okay, so it's a triple compound consonant. Okay, sanya, sanya, nya, yeah, like a sa, nya, ju, nya, sanya, ju, nya, sanya, sanya.
Sanya.
Okay, that is because of a grammar rule. Okay, the anuswara generally, if you apply the sandhi, then the anuswara will be converted into the same group as the consonant that follows. Because the anuswara in the above example, anuswara is followed by ja sound, right? Because you have sa and This anuswara on the a is followed by the ja sound. So the anuswara will become the nasal version of the ja group. The nasal version of the ja group, or the fifth letter, is cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. So the anuswara will change into nya. So some will become sanya. Okay, sanya, nya, sanya, nya. That is what is here, sanya.
But you said some, but in English you have written ma, m. The sound
That is the
m.
upper one, of course, because that is the m dot is the anuswara. That is what is written here also. Even in Devanagari, there's anuswara, right? In Devanagari, over the
Yes.
sa, there is a dot.
But that
Yes.
anuswara should be same anuswara as the bottom one, right? Because it's ja.
Right, that's what I'm saying. There are two ways of pronouncing. One with anuswara, one making the sandhi. Anuswara changing into nya. So this anuswara itself will change into nya if you make the sandhi.
Okay.
Okay, we will talk about this because there is a sandhi by name anuswara sandhi itself.
See, the difficulty is how to pronounce the second sanya, the nya part I'm talking, not the sa part.
Okay.
Between the first and the second. The first sanya, the nya part versus the second nya part, is very difficult to know the difference in your mouth, inside the mouth.
Okay, let me go slow. I am talking only about the second sanya, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Sa, ny, j, nya. Sa, ny, j, nya. Sanya, j, nya. Sanya, sanya.
Sanya, sanya, sanya.
Okay, so you have to practice that. So both the nyakaras and the ja in the middle has to be should be caught. Okay, so actually you just have to follow what is written there, the same order. See the highlighted, the transliterated part, the one nya, followed by ja, followed by nya.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So if we want to discuss about that, we can talk direct on WhatsApp.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And Mahodaya, this is the difference between the two sangnas. The way to pronounce it, maybe it comes over the practice, right? Over the experience.
Yes.
There is a subtle difference, and
yes,
the more we practice, we get the different way of pronouncing it.
Yes. Because see, this nya is a verb root. Sam is a prefix. Okay, the sanya word is made by adding the prefix nya to as prefix sam to nya. Okay, so when you add a prefix to a root, the sandhis happen. The sandhis, a lot of times they have mandatory signs. Sandhi has to be done mandatorily, and sometimes they're optional. In the case of sanya, it is, especially with respect to the prefix sam, there is an option. That is why it can be written in two ways and pronounced in two ways. But difference in this case is very, very subtle. Okay, unless you are into phonetics, you may not catch it. Okay. Anybody has any more question? You can we can talk over phone and clarify that. Then another problem sometimes people have is ra. Again, the sound ra in Devanagari, it is not called rakara. There's one exception. The ra sound is always called repa. Anywhere else you can add the ra sound or the kara, like akara, ikara, pakara, makara. When it comes to ra, the tradition has been to refer to ra sound as repa. Okay. So sometimes when repa becomes a constituent of a conjunct consonant, how to write that? Okay. Like here you have the word sutra. Su is the first one. It's pretty simple, sakara and vu, nothing much to it. But the second is a compound consonant or conjunct consonant, takara followed by repa. So that is pronounced as ta, ra, tra. Okay, sutra. Pronunciation, I think a lot of people many people don't have any problem with with the nya. There's not much issue. Tra and rta is easy to distinguish. But some people have confusion, especially when they're new to the lipi or the writing method. So tra is written as shown here. This notation is for ta followed by ra. Okay. I wrote it here separately. Ta followed by ra is written like this. And sometimes people write ta and put a cross line underneath. That is more self-explanatory because ta can be fully seen. Here, ta cannot be fully seen. And a lot of people, when they're writing with the freehand, they write the ta and draw that extra line. Whereas in the print, all the prints are like this. Now, what happens? How to show when ra precedes the takara or any other consonant? In that case, the ra sound is shown on as an arc on top of the consonant that follows. Give the example of vartika. Okay. So first akshara is va. The second is ritika. Okay. There has to be a gap here. Okay. So the second letter is r, t, i, rti, vartika. Okay. So that is written as, you write the ta, which is the second consonant in full letter, and on top of that, you put this hook. But the hook indicate the r, which has to be pronounced before the consonant. Because in Saṁskṛta or in Devanagari, generally, you read from left to right and top to bottom. Okay. So if there is some aspect on top, then you have to pronounce it first. Okay. Now don't apply that to the sum, because sum, it has to come actually little after sa, the notation comes. Okay, so this arka, sometimes I think, I don't know whether what it is called in Devanagari, but in our Kannada language, we call it as arka, this arc on the top. So that is repa preceding the consonant. Okay. So sutra and kshatriya. Now, I took this example, samjna, sutra, vartika, and kshatriya, to indicate the ksha, and jna letters, jna syllables you generally sometimes see at the end of alphabets in local languages in India. Okay, and they are not part of the Varnamala. They are given as an example of compound consonant. Okay, ksha. You can see that the notation for ksha is this, the highlighted part. Let me make it a little bigger. Okay, come on. Okay, this is the notation for ksha. Now, ksha letter, it is a ksha is a compound consonant. It's a combination of kakara and the shakara, shanmukasha. Like I showed it here, the ksha, this notation is compound consonant consisting of ka followed by sha. But it is written like this, where there is no indication of ka being there and sha being there. But there is a shortcut notation for ksha. Okay. So kshatriya is k, sh, and a becomes ksha. What I highlighted here in Devanagari is this underlined three varnas, kakara followed by shakara followed by a. Three, just like takara, rakara, and e. In here in sutra, you can ta, ra, and a, whereas here it is ta, ra, and e. Three. Okay, kshatri. Ya is simple, ya followed by a. Okay. I think we're done with most of the pronunciation things. And as I mentioned earlier, if we say a and add the kara, that means kara, the prefix kara implies that the sound. So akara means a sound. Ukara means u sound. Yakara means y sound. Okay, ya, just the halanta ya. Okay, so you might write yakara, but the ya is for pronunciation, a is for pronunciation's sake. So by yakara, what is meant is the pure consonant y. Vakara means the pure consonant v. Okay, and this is true for all other consonants also. Any questions on this pronunciation thing that you want to discuss in the class?
Oh, thanks.
Jagdish, one question. So, in usage, you also just like tra, you have two hands coming out of the perpendicular line, right?
Yeah.
There are instances where you have three hands coming out. How is that pronounced?
Generally, there are not three hands. The most likely it is double ta followed by ra.
So tra?
Yeah, the ra most likely, because unless you show me which you mean by writing or typing or sending somehow, I don't exactly know, but that is another possibility.
Inverted three.
I'll find examples and email.
Find an example and send me in WhatsApp. I'll explain that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, because right now, without knowing what you have in mind, I can't explain.
Yeah, thank you.
Rishaji, how would you write mantra?
Mantra. Okay. My problem here is something is happening. I can't type remove. See, the second time when I press A, let me try something else. Let me see if it works. Oh, then I have to switch my display screen. Yeah, I don't want to do that because we might end up with the problem like last time. So I don't want to go from sharing screen. So how to write mantra? You write ma, okay? The letter ma, no problem, right? So who was asking the question?
Yes, this is Rajesh. Yes, no problem.
Okay, Rajesh, you write ma, okay? And Rajesh, you send me a WhatsApp message about mantra. I will mention that, but now for the whole class, I mentioned this. You write ma and write just the first part of nakara without the vertical line. Let me see. Na, so this is na. When I put ta right next to that, see what happened?
Right.
Na and tu.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's add ra. Okay. So mantra, then add a. See, when I add a, press a, something happens. This is how you write anta.
Anta. Okay.
Okay. And this tra, you add a n, t, r. Okay. So this is tr. Add a at the end, you will be ntra.
Okay.
Mahoday, can you use that pencil on the top free and use? Are you okay with drawing?
Annotate this thing?
Yeah. Yeah. Drawing on the top,
let me
use the pencil to draw. Yeah.
Oh, good idea. I forgot about that. I did that in the live class. Let's see. Okay, good. Hope it works. Doesn't hang up somewhere else. Okay, where did my mouse go? Okay. So, this is ma. Okay, forget my handwriting. I am writing with the mouse. Okay, Rajesh, this is ma. Okay.
Okay.
So, mantra is ma, n, t, ra. So, then let's. This is the first part of na.
Okay.
Okay, man. So right now we have man. Then one way of writing is write the ta. So now you have manta.
Okay.
Right? Now make the ra line. So mantra. This is one way of writing.
Okay.
The other one is as we shown here.
Okay.
Okay. So this is nakara, the man. Then I generally don't write this. I write the first way because ta I can see fully. I prefer when I'm handwriting, I write this way because you can see the na, you can see the ta, you can see the line representing the ra.
Okay.
This thing, even though you can see in the text, this doesn't come naturally to me. Okay, whereas this comes very naturally to me.
Can we put na on top of the ma?
Okay, you can't put na on top of the ma. A lot of times in Saṁskṛta, you are not supposed to do that because this na is the nasal for the tavarga. Okay, so you might see in the text a lot of time mantra written as this.
Yeah.
In Hindi, you will see that. Okay, but in Saṁskṛta, this is wrong. It's a wrong practice. Okay, it's not a good practice because whenever this anuswara will become the nasal of the consonant that follows. General rule, anuswara on top of the previous letter will become the group consonant of the letter that follows if that letter that follows belongs to one of the 5 groups. Did I confuse you?
No, but na is the anuswara of the tatha, the na. So why can't we put it on the ma?
Okay, on the ma, on top of ma, you put tra. Okay, now let's say the same anuswara. If the next letter is ja, what happens? Is it still na? When the word is manju, is the anuswara pronounced as na, manju?
Manju.
So it automatically becomes nya because the group, the nasal for the group ja is cha cha ja ja nya. So it becomes manju.
Manju, yes.
Okay. So same anuswara, right? Both cases, as written, it's same anuswara. So in Saṁskṛta, what they do is to avoid that confusion, you write it as how it is spelled. Is mantra, it is pronounced as na. You write it as half na. Is manju, it is pronounced as nya. So write as manju in Saṁskṛta will be written like this.
Okay.
Okay, this is the right way to write. Cha or ja, both. If they in both cases, because they belong to the same varga, like a chanchala will be cha and nya and cha. Is that clear?
Yes. Thank you.
Jagdishji, so mantra will have one more line after the tha, right?
Of course. No, this is it.
That's it? Mantra?
This is it. This is it, mantra. Okay, if you are just saying mantra, because mantra doesn't have a long. It is not long a.
Oh,
Okay, it may be mantram or mantraha, but it is not mantra.
Oh, I see.
Okay, that is the problem of effect of English, because we say it is not mantra, so we make it mantra, then make it extra long.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is the way to write. This extra line should not be there.
So, okay. So mantra pushpam, we should just have this.
Yeah, when you see mantra pushpam, this extra line will not be there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, see that carefully if you need. But mantra pushpam, this tra immediately followed by pa of pushpa.
Okay. Thank you.
The line across the ta to make it tra. Where is it? Where in the book it will be special? Like, how did they come up with that? That a line across the ta become tra. That where is there a rule like that? How do you?
I don't know how the lipis developed. Okay, this has nothing to do with the Sanskrita language. This is the lipi, Devanagari lipi. And if you look at another language, it will be written in different way. In English, it is simpler. T and R are two separate letters.
Yes.
Okay, so
this is not part of Sanskrtam.
This is the Devanagari lipi. Okay, this is the the writing notation. A lipi or an akshara is nothing but a notation that indicates a sound. To show a sound, somebody noted a symbol, and different people of different language with different languages invented different symbols. That is why we have different letters in English, different letters in Kannada, different letters in Devanagari, different letters in Tamil.
And Chinese.
Sure. So the map of Devanagari script, the full map of Devanagari script, is something we will be told later, or this is it?
This is the Devanagari script. We covered both vowels and let me get out of this.
No, I'm saying what you're telling now. Are there anything left over that you will continue in the next class, or this is it? This is all the Devanagari script?
We will cover a little more about the pronunciation part, not the writing part. That is why even in the class, I said knowing, reading and writing Devanagari letters is a basic requirement.
Okay.
Because we don't want to spend a lot of time how to write each things. Now, I spent last class and this class a little more because a lot of people have some doubt about how to pronounce two consonants when they come together, one after the other. Okay, all this. Yeah, because the mantra, the tra has three consonants coming together, na, ta, and ra, right?
Right.
So that is why it has to be explicitly explained. So it's a very valid question in that sense. But why the line on top, all those things they are common for all the letters. I am spending a little more time on the compound consonants because it is a little tricky. A lot of people say, even when registering the class, they first said, we don't know Devanagari. Then I said, I sent them some PDFs, to practice writing Devanagari. Then they say, we know how to read and write, but we are not very fluent when it comes to conjunct consonants. Okay, that is why I am spending some time on that aspect.
Okay, thank you.
Notation part.
Jagdish, I found an example. So with the three, this thing, it is part of like from Shastra, right? It is the carryover of the sir, right? The consonant sir, half
Yeah,
sir.
there's nothing like carryover. In Shastra, you have the sakara coming first,
yes,
followed by ta and ra. In this case, we have na coming first, followed by ta and ra.
Yeah, so the varna is left as it is. It is not half varna, half this thing is left as it is, right? In Shastra or Shastri or any of those, right?
What do you mean by left?
The S, right? The sir, it is not akshara at the stage. It is just half a sir, right? So
it is you can say half a sa. What is happening is the sa is immediately followed by ta. So becomes sta. Sa and ta becomes ta. And then ta, before you add the a, you get the ra. So sha, s, t, r becomes str. So you add a at the end. Stra, ra, tra.
Tra. So you'll pronounce all the three.
You pronounced all the three. The last one will be pronounced with the a sound because when you write Shastra, S-T-R-A.
Yeah.
The other two consonants will be pronounced only the half part because there are no vowels attached to them. S-T-Ra. Stra.
Tra. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Another thing.
One more.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on Saṁskṛtam or Saṁskṛtam?
Okay. If it is written with anuswara, you pronounce as Saṁskṛtam.
Okay.
Okay. Because if you have to pronounce na, there should be a na. There is no na there to pronounce it Saṁskṛtam. The problem there comes from English, because in English you spell it as Sanskrit.
Yeah.
So that N, people tend to bring it back to Saṁskṛta also. Instead of making Saṁskṛta, they Saṁskṛta. Where did N come? In the whole word Saṁskṛta, there is no nakara at all.
There's only makara?
Yeah, there is makara.
Saṁskṛtam.
Yeah, because makara was there originally.
Yeah.
Because samyak kritam Saṁskṛtam. Samyak, the sam upasarga is sa makara.
I can see downstairs here. Saṁskṛta here.
Okay. Another aspect I wanted to discuss is why do we italicize? Whenever we write anything, like example here, samnya, sanya, whatever those things, whatever I wrote in English, I italicized. It is a very good practice when you transliterate with the letters with the diacritic marks or without the diacritic marks. It is a good practice and I follow it strictly. And most textbooks published by Arshavidya also follow that strictly. That whenever there is a transliteration of a Sanskrita word, they make it italicized. I have heard different reasons for doing that. My reason is pretty simple. Why italicize? So my reason for italicizing is to make the pronunciation not according to the English letters or Latin letters, but according to the Sanskrita pronunciation. Okay, to force the transliterated pronunciation to follow the right Sanskrita pronunciation. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, let's look at two common phrases. You can get a lot of examples like this. Let's Sat Chit Ananda, written like this without italicizing. So you might have a tendency to pronounce as you pronounce any other English word. So Sat, instead of saying Sat, it will never occur to you. If it is italicized, then you might ask, why did they italicize it? Is it different? There's a difference. Otherwise, there is a common English word spelled exactly S-A-T, sat. So you will pronounce sat, then CIT is not a common English word, but still CI is pronounced as C, T is pronounced as ta, so sat sit. But if I write it italicized, then, and if I tell you beforehand that italicized means you have to pronounce the way it is intended to be pronounced in Saṁskṛta. In Saṁskṛta, the short A is the replacement for A, short A. So there you pronounce, and the T without the under dot is pronounced ta, dental ta. So here, SAT italicized, you will be forced to pronounce it as sat instead of sat. And we know that we use the letter C for the cha sound. Okay, so it is not sit anymore, but it is chit. Okay, and in all the Arsha Vidya books, when there is some transliteration of the books published in English language, but come across a lot of Sanskrita words, then they always have a pronunciation guideline even before the index to say that this is the letter, this letter has to be pronounced like this, and they give you an example from English words also. That is the reason why I italicize at any time. If at all I use a Sanskrit word without italicizing, it is just I forgot by oversight. Otherwise, I always italicize whether there is a diacritic mark or not. Everybody knows what a diacritic mark is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is additional things on top of normal alphabets, like A on top. I have a list, and there's a list of all the diacritic marks, and the pronunciation guidelines is there in the slideshow, one of the slides, and I also have this here in the next slide. So Satchit Ananda, which we are very familiar with, unless you italicize, and somebody who say just sees this 3 words and he doesn't know about Vedānta or Saṁskṛta or the meaning or how the 3 individual words has to be pronounced, they might just pronounce as sat, sit, and anda. And the D will be pronounced as a D as in dog. Okay, it will not be Ananda. And another common phrase, tat tvamasi. So without the tat, the A is pronounced as if it's an A. So like a sat, it will be a tat. Tat, tvam, asi, whatever that is. But if you italicize, then A is short A is short A, T is ta, so tat, tvam, asi. Okay, and
a very good reason, Jagdish Ji.
Yeah. What is it?
It's a good reason to explain this. Yes.
Yeah. So generally, almost all the ashram books does. But I think Medhaji's books, I don't think she italicized everywhere. Okay, maybe some places she did, and that only in the beginning sections. Later on, there will be a lot more Devanagari only. Very few transliterated. So whenever transliterated, even if you're, yeah, she didn't italicize. So I prefer to italicize, and I think it's a good practice so that your pronunciation will be forced to follow Sanskrita pronunciation.
So change, italicize a change of font.
Now, italicize is pretty simple in one stroke.
The change of font.
What do you mean change of font? Yeah, the things are there in all typing software. There will be italicizing option. Here, italics. What did you mean, Premji? Change of font means?
Yeah, when you write, there are different fonts: big, small, twisted, high.
The italicizing doesn't. We will not be very obvious when in handwriting, but this is only in the printed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, handwriting, different people have different slants. There are some people who have front slant also.
In the computer, there are different type of fonts, how you can write the word.
But here, italicizing is not a different font. It is the same font It's just like underlining, making block, italicizing is another option.
Okay, Doc.
On the same font. Like for example, all of the font here are Times Roman, italicized or non-italicized. Okay, so you can look at this. This is a part of the slides in the drive. So you can look at this for practice. So you can see this Saṁskṛta, the English or the Roman letter replacement is a. And A with the line on top will be long A, E, U, R. So sometimes you need some special character or a special notation on top of the existing characters. Okay, and this is mainly for those who have joined later to the class, because we have discussed this slide in the slideshow part, and this slide is available in the drive. You can look at it, and some examples are also given. Example in the sense English words which sound like the Sanskrita pronunciation we expect. Okay, but because these two languages are so different, sometimes you cannot get the exact pronunciation example in English for a sound in Sanskrita. Okay. So you can look at this. Okay, Sudhir has a question.
Thank you. Why do you say Sanskrta instead of Sanskrtam? Saṁskṛtam.
Okay, there is a reason. I say Saṁskṛta. Okay, and most of the teachers say Saṁskṛta if they are using the word Saṁskṛta in an English sentence. If they're using the word Saṁskṛta in a Sanskrita sentence, then they will say Saṁskṛtam or some other vibhakti form. Okay. Now, Saṁskṛta is the noun base, what we call as pratipadika, noun stem or nominal base. Saṁskṛtam is the pratama vibhakti ekavachana, because Saṁskṛta is in Napumsakalinga. Pratama vibhakti ekavachana, which is generally, you have to always use a word with a vibhakti in a Sanskrita sentence. But when you're using the word Sanskrita in an English sentence, the rule doesn't apply. So we can go with Sanskrita.
Thank you.
Another meaning-wise, there's nothing. It's good that you caught it, and this is the reason. Okay, pratipadika or the pure noun base is Sanskrita. Okay, and it can be Saṁskṛtam, it may be Saṁskrte. Like if you're adding seventh case, then it will be Saṁskrte. In Saṁskrita or in the topic of Saṁskrita, or it may be Saṁskrtasya if you are saying of Saṁskrita. Okay, but what you see there is the common factor there is Saṁskrita, which is coming from the noun stem. So the noun stem is Saṁskrita, akaranta napumsakalinga. That is why it is Saṁskrita ending with a.
Okay. And another question I had was, there's a dot usually used in Hindi, for example, like bazaar. Instead of saying bajar, they say bazaar. So that is a dot there. It's called nukta.
Okay.
Is that part of Sanskrtam or no?
No, not at all, because that came from the northwestern countries of India. That's effect of Parsi and whatever other languages.
Okay. Because
and, the letter za as like an equivalent of z in English. That sound is not there in Sanskrita. It is jha, jh. There is no z equivalent in Sanskrita. There is only jh.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Similarly, actually, the pa and the pha, it's not pha.
Yeah, exactly. Now there is nothing like pa with the dot under dot, but even the pa, written pa, it should be pronounced as pa only. It is p and ha, alpa prana and mahaprana. Pa. It is not fa. It is the ph. The pa of Sanskrita is not the equivalent of f sound.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, a lot of people, even people who speak Sanskrita, they say phala. Phala is not the pronunciation. The pronunciation is phala. It is subtle, but people who are into pronunciation can catch it very easily. Okay, in Saṁskṛta, the F sound comes only in one case, which is a pronunciation of Visarga. We talked briefly about it, and we will talk about it again in Visarga Sandhi.
Yeah, actually, I heard that there's another example. We usually say kaise ho. Kaise ho is wrong. It's actually kaise ho. The Bihari people say it correctly.
Oh, okay. Now we are getting it in right. I don't know all those things, but there are a couple of other things I want to talk about pronunciation also. We'll continue in the next class. We're already almost 15 minutes over. Let's do the concluding prayers. Good, we didn't have any technical interruption this time. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om purnamadav purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate, purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavashishyate. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. So that is the F sound. When I said Purnamadav Purnamidam, that is the only time you hear the F kind of sound. That is the Visarga followed by Pa. Okay. Thanks everybody. Sarvebhyam Shubharatrihi.
Jagdisha ji, very sorry.
Thank you.
This is
Thank you.
Thank
Hari
you.
Om. Thank you.
this is Rajesh. I had one question about the conjunct consonant slide that you had. Can you go back to that very quickly? We can even talk about it next class. I don't want to hold you up too much.
I have another class at 7:30.
Oh, sorry. Then we'll.
Okay, sure. Send me a message on WhatsApp. Specific question.
Okay. Thank you.
Either class message or one-to-one WhatsApp message.
Okay.
Okay, I will answer there. Okay.
Thank you.
If you have to mention it orally, then I will bring it up in the next class.
Okay.
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 Hari Om.
Hari
Om. Hari Om. Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyavadaha.